had foul language from both sides, from different sides of the political spectrum in the past as well. From the infamous Maut Ka Saudagar to Jersey Cow. But this is 2023. Why should our politics of this day and age stoop so low and use almost gutter-level language to take political potshots? And it's not just the opposition, but the ruling party too seems to have used this in the past. But is it time now for a new kind of vocabulary in our politics, where these personal jibes, which have nothing to do with politics or policy, should not be dominating the election campaign? Instead, politicians should be talking about what is good or bad for the people of the states that are going to polls. But first, the story so far.
आप लोग पूरा 10-10 गेम जीत के आए हो, ये तो होता रहता है। मुस्कुराइए भाई, देश आप लोगों को देख रहा है।
अच्छा भला हमारे लड़के वहां पे वर्ल्ड कप जीत जाते, वो वहां पे पनौती हरवा दिया।
इंडियार फाइनल यदि कोलकाताয় হতো বা ওয়াংকাড়েতে হতো, আমরা জিততাম। আমাদের ছেলেমেয়েরা এত ভালো খেলাধুলায় সব কেরুয়া পড়িয়ে দিয়েছে।
All right, I want to first bring you up to speed with a couple of instances in the past where prime ministers have watched matches, either cricket games or hockey games, and India at that time had gone on to lose those games. But no one at that point referred to either of these prime ministers as Panauti. 1982 Asian Games, this was the hockey finals. It was India versus Pakistan. It happened in New Delhi. Mrs. Gandhi was the prime minister at that time. She entered the stadium in an open jeep to greet the crowd. At 4-1, Indira Gandhi sent word through her aide to change the goalkeeper. India eventually lost that match 7-1, and Indira Gandhi left the venue, left the stadium after Pakistan scored the 5th goal. In 2005, a good 30 years later, the one-day series again between India and Pakistan, Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister at that time. General Musharraf was on a visit to New Delhi at that time, and it was happening at the Firozshah Kotla. They attended the final match along with General Musharraf. Pakistan, in fact, won that match by a staggering 159 runs. It also won that one-day series. Remember, the Delhi match was the final match. It won the one-day series 4-2. And again, at that time, no one called either Dr. Manmohan Singh or Mrs. Indira Gandhi as Panauti. Now, forget about what the politicians are saying. Let's listen into what a Team India member has said about the Prime Minister visiting the dressing room right after the final, which India lost. This is Mohammad Shami, who's of course captured everyone's hearts through the course of the last 6 weeks during the World Cup. What an incredible story of a comeback it has been of his. And this is what he had to say to reporters about the moments when the Prime Minister visited the dressing room right after that final defeat and consoled the players and tried to lift their morale. This is Mohammad Shami.
देखिए, बहुत ज़रूरी होता है क्योंकि उस टाइम पे हम मैच हार चुके थे, और जब आपके प्राइम मिनिस्टर जब वहाँ पे आके आपको प्रोत्साहन देते हैं तो वो एक अलग ही एक कॉन्फिडेंस होता है कि देश का जिम्मेदार आदमी आपके साथ आया है, आपके सहानुभूति दे रहा है। आप लोगों ने देखा ही है कि कैसे उन्होंने सबका साहस बढ़ाया है, कैसे उन्होंने सबसे मुलाकात की है। ये बहुत अच्छा लगा हम लोगों को। देखिए, मेरी हमेशा कोशिश यही है कि कंट्री के लिए बेटर करते रहें।
In fact, the BJP has hit back at the opposition after Shami's remark. This is what Union Minister Kiren Rijiju had tweeted, and this is part of our Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand's tweet of the day.
Hello, Moto.
Rijiju said, and I quote, very responsible statement by Shami, unlike some irresponsible people who are publicly drawing sadistic pleasure on India's defeat in the Cricket World Cup final. People know very well why Shri Rahul Gandhi hates Prime Minister Modi ji, so I will not explain further. That's the tweet from the Minister Kiren Rijiju. But election season, and time and again, it sees the level of discourse take a complete nosedive from both sides. And I want to just bring you quickly up to speed with the kind of language we've seen from both sides in the past. Sonia Gandhi had infamously called Prime Minister Modi the Maut ka Saudagar during the 2007 Gujarat poll campaign. Prime Minister Modi in 2004 during the campaign had called Sonia Gandhi a Jersey cow. Then you had the instance in 2019 when Rahul Gandhi, on the back of the whole Rafale allegations, went against Prime Minister Modi and targeted him and called him Chaukidar Chor Hai. Of course, we all know what the results of the 2019 election was. Prime Minister Modi very recently in this current election campaign referred to Rahul Gandhi as Murkho ka Sardar. And then, of course, Mamata Banerjee had said, this was in 2019, just before the Lok Sabha campaign, Mamata Banerjee had said that Modi will be reduced to a rat in the 2019 polls. The BJP won 18 seats in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections in West Bengal. Of course, in the assembly elections, Prime Minister Modi retorted with the Didi O Didi jibe. Of course, the TMC won that mandate by a record margin in the 2021 assembly election. So let's get to our big debate. Is politicizing a World Cup loss, or for that matter, any kind of sporting defeat, and using personal jibes like Paapi and Panauti even a new low, considering our own very lowly standards for public discourse when it is election season?
Hello, Moto.
So, joining us on the talking point this evening, Shehzad Poonawalla is national spokesperson of the BJP, Rohan Gupta is national spokesperson of the Congress Party, Tausif Ahmed Khan is advocate and political analyst, R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, joining us. Rohan Gupta, you know, the whole country was watching and was empathizing, sympathizing, sharing the grief of our cricketers, and the Prime Minister, having gone to the stadium, he went to meet the players, console them, try to lift their morale, as Mohammad Shami, one of the players, just said some time back. We played out that bite. Why refer to him in very derogatory and deeply personal terms like Panauti and Paapi? I mean, had he not gone to the dressing room, you would have still attacked him. Now that he went to the dressing room, tried to console the players, lift their mood, you're calling him Paapi and Panauti. Why? Why can't we rise above in our language, particularly when we refer to public officials?
Zaka, I would answer your question in two parts. Number one, you asked about why use bad words or derogatory words. I don't know whether you have done debate just 5 days back when Mr. Modi told Mr. Rahul Gandhi Murkho ka Sardar, right? So I don't know who will judge what is bad and what is good. Is there any BJP, laboratory or any factory or any office which decides whether Murkho ka Sardar is wrong and Panauti is right? Let us refer to that and let us judge which word is bad and which word is good. Then we will do this debate. So idea is, Zaka, when anybody talks about Mr. Rahul Gandhi, it's all fine. When anybody takes jibe, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi is being, on social media, he is trolled or he is being attacked by any BJP leader, it is taking a jibe. Mr. Rahul Gandhi takes a jibe, it is insult. You cannot have double standards. Point number one. Point number two, there is absolutely nothing wrong in any Prime Minister going and consoling our players. But making PR event out of that, the way he went to, inside the dressing room, it was looking artificial. We are absolutely no issue in consoling. Why to make PR event? Why to release video? You can see the body language of the player. They were not in good mood. All of us, we understand that all the Indians were badly shattered that day. Why to make public event out of that? So these are two separate questions. So when you on the screen, Zaka, you clearly told in 2004, Mr. Modi referred Sonia ji as Jersey cow. I am challenging BJP spokesperson that before this government entered, when Mr. Vajpayee was there or Sonia ji was there, they were respecting each other. There was a level of respect between opposition parties. The personal allegations have started from 2004 in Indian politics. So, and when Congress does that, please don't raise moral grounds with us.
Let me ask Shehzad Poonawalla. So, it cuts both ways. If the Prime Minister is being referred to as Panauti and Paapi by opposition politicians like Rahul Gandhi and Mamata Banerjee, then the BJP is also equally guilty. The Prime Minister just last week in the Rajasthan campaign referred to Rahul Gandhi as Murkho ka Sardar. That can also be construed as a personal jibe.
First of all, Zaka, just to refresh your memory, Mr. Modi in his speech said, Congress ke Mahagyani and then went on to say Murkho ke Sardar. He did not take anybody's name. He said Mahagyani and Murkho ke Sardar. But if Rohan Gupta thinks that the only epithet that applies to Rahul Gandhi out of those two is Murkho ke Sardar, then it is Rohan Gupta and Rahul Gandhi's problem that Rahul Gandhi has made his image like that. And Zaka, I did not interrupt, so I think Rohan Gupta should have the patience to listen. Point number two. Zaka, this is absolutely unfair.
Rohan, 1 second. Let him finish. Yeah. Let him finish. Yeah.
Point number. If I am wrong on fact, Zaka, you castigate me. On the other hand, Rahul said PM means Panauti Modi. I do not lie. I do not lie, especially on 9 PM shows, and I do not lie, especially when I'm with Zaka Jacob, who will catch me faster than lightning. So therefore, whatever I'm saying, you test it with your research team. Secondly, Zaka, please have your research team pull out. I'll pull it out for you too. Prior to 2014, much ahead, before even Mr. Modi was on the public scene as Gujarat CM, Sonia Gandhi referred to Vajpayee as a traitor. It was Saw Langur used as a derogatory word for the opposition leaders when the slogan was coined, Ek Sherni Saw Langur, referring to JP, Lohia and all the other stalwarts in the opposition. I don't want to get into this action reaction. If you are saying action reaction, then there is an action that happened much before Modi ji came to the scene. But having said that, Zaka, let me make a couple of points about Panauti. What does Panauti represent? Zaka, Panauti is a shabd or a word that has been used to tell people you're a bad omen, don't come next to me. And it has been particularly used as a jibe against women and against certain lower castes. Look at where the Congress comes from. Neej, Bhasmasur, Gangu Teli, to Chai Bej. They abused OBC caste, they were convicted for it, and now they go to Panauti. This is the elitist mindset. It's not a bad word against one leader or the other. A lot of parties do that. BJP, Congress both do it, both are guilty. I accept. But this particular word is steeped in a sense of elitism which reflects two things. One, you remember what Surjewala said about Janta? Janta Rakshas hai. Then they said Sena Khoon ki dalali karti hai. And now they are saying PM post. PM is Panauti Modi if a Gandhi does not ascend to the throne.
Okay, so let me ask Tausif Ahmed Khan. You know, the problem is one part of the problem is the personal targeting and the coarse language that's being used. The other part is, you know, in this day and age, in the 21st century, to say that somebody is a bad omen or a good omen, I mean, you are perpetuating superstition, you are perpetuating wrong beliefs. I mean, who believes in all of these things in the 21st century? And like I said, I mean, the Prime Minister was in the stadium watching the match. Had he not gone to the dressing room, he would have still been damned. And now that he went to the dressing room to console the players and lift their mood, he's still being damned. Please answer on both of those points. One, you know, in this day and age, should we be perpetuating superstitions like, you know, bad omen, good omen, so on and so forth?
Zaka, I absolutely agree with you that in this age, there's no scope for, you know, perpetuating bad omen or good omen. But throughout the debate, we are talking as if, you know, the Congress leader is the first person who used the word Panauti. You know, he said the word Panauti after 1 or 2 days of the match. But on the day of the match itself, this trend had started. The moment Prime Minister went to the stadium and India was seen to be losing, and this was trending. Panauti was trending on the social media. So first, to blame Rahul Gandhi for using this word, I think it is unfair. It was already there in the public domain. And even on the video, if you see, someone from the crowd prompted the word Panauti, and then he picked up from there, and then he used whatever he said. It is on record. Secondly, you see, today we are in a discourse. We have a public discourse where it is perfectly normal, you know, to attack personally any political leader. So in this age, can this Prime Minister which itself in 2014 said P for Pappu, and today if he is being said P for Panauti, can he can any member of the BJP today shed the crocodile tear and say, oh no, please do not say this, when they are the ones, they started with this? Are they afraid that by saying Pappu, with the popularity of the hashtag Pappu, BJP won, and with this popularity of hashtag Panauti, BJP is going to lose? Are they afraid of that? Have they become so superstitious? That is my question to BJP and to Shahzad. Please do not be so superstitious.
R. Rajagopalan, you know, again, I come back to those instances in the past where, Indira Gandhi attended the 1982 Asiad hockey final. India lost that badly. Dr. Manmohan Singh, along with General Musharraf, attended the final game of that one-day series in 2004-5. Again, India lost that one-day series quite badly. No one referred to them as bad omen or ill luck or panauti. But somehow when Modi goes after a loss to try and console the players, he becomes a panauti. But that pejorative term is never used for the former prime ministers.
Jaka, one thing is very clear, 2024 is not far away, only 4 or 5 months. If semi-final is going to have this type of galis, panauti, whatever that, 24, how you and me are going to cover? Are we going to only debate this type of thing? Has the politics come to this low level? From 1967 onwards, Jaka, I have been covering Lok Sabha election, assembly elections. I have been reporting for Tamil paper, for English papers like that. It is my nth time of election. Never seen such a denigration of political discourse. Apart from that, panauti, as TMC spokesperson has just now said, Rahul Gandhi copied from social media. It is a shame on the Congress spokesperson or Congress. They should not have allowed that type of denigration of a prime minister's position. Apart from that, I can combine. The day before Panauti was mentioned, Mr. Rahul Gandhi was told by Associated Journal of India that attachment notice for 750 crores has come. So whenever ED notice comes, Rahul Gandhi gets hyper. He speaks something irrelevant. And he says, Kunki Dalali, Chaukidar, Chor, whatever that. I have done a research, 6 ED notices, Rahul Gandhi blabbers 6 times. And he goes to the opposition bench, never a parliament member crosses the floor. But that has been introduced by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He went to the PM speech and hugged him and he said, ye pyar hai. And he gives kisses. He gives ank marta hai. What does he as a parliamentarian of 20 years standing, what did he learn? Has he learned the etiquette of a simple thing? Panauti is a very derogatory word. As Shehzad Poonawala explained, it is derogatory. I went to the dictionary of Hindi and it says you cannot heckle a woman. So what does it mean? From my understanding, I would say, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, how are you going to answer to the Election Commission on before another 2 days that have been given?
Okay.
Now you will seek time. Rahul Gandhi will seek time by the time Rajasthan polls will be over. So then with that. So Rahul Gandhi should understand 24 is going to be very difficult for Rahul Gandhi.
The point that Mr. Rajagopalan is also making is every time Mr. Modi has been attacked personally, it has cost the Congress party. From Maut Ka Saudagar to Chaukidar Chor Hai. When you try to personalize this campaign against Mr. Modi, it works against the Congress party. And it seems like, again, this Panauti jibe will work to the BJP's advantage in the state of Rajasthan. Again, when Manishankar Iyer referred to Mr. Modi as a chaiwala before 2014, ye neech kisam ka aadmi hai. Each one of those, it happened in the heat of an election campaign, and each of those elections the BJP went on to win. So either the Congress, has not learnt its lessons, or it feels it can still get away with these personal jibes because the loss of an election is not as bad as the opportunity to take a personal jibe at Mr. Modi. You'd rather take a personal jibe at Mr. Modi even if it means losing an election.
Zaka, I think people of India are smart enough to understand why these kind of issues are raised. And as I've already told, if BJP is trying to, one of the senior journalists is talking about BJP, about Congress, why is not able to question Mr. Modi when he said Rahul Gandhi Murko ka Sardar? When BJP spokesperson told about Rahul Gandhi being told Murko ka Sardar, Mr. Modi referred that one of the leaders of opposition, he told that Chinese mobiles, India mobiles are not made and they are Chinese mobile. This statement was given by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Then where is the question here, number one? So Mr. Rajgopal, when you ask Congress party, as a journalist, you should ask question to BJP. Then
don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. You answer the question, Jaka. Don't come and hit me. You must answer. Congress should answer. Congress lost this game, Rahul Gupta. You have covered Congress.
Let Rohan answer, Mr. Rajgopal. Let Rohan answer. Let Rohan answer, please. Yeah, only Rohan answering. Yeah.
My point is, they are smart enough. Why these kind of issues are raised? Same issue was raised in the Karnataka election by Mr. Modi. What happened? Karnataka made him lose. Because people understand now these issues. When it is against Mr. Modi, he plays this victim card. When he speaks, nobody speaks. So Zaka, it is my simple question. I am not attacking you personally. Have you done any debate when Mr. Modi told Rahul Gandhi Murko ka Sardar? Maybe it is skipped your mind. You should do that also. So what is the public discourse? What are the moral standards?
The channel did do debates in the last week. I'll be happy to send over those clips to you. But that's not the point. That's not the point, Rohan. The point is no. One second. Let me just come back to the question. When you
are debating word Panauti, my simple question is your standard, whatever it is, as a reporter, you should be balanced.
I mentioned that at the start of this show also I mentioned that Rahul Gandhi was referred to as Murko ka Sardar. But anyway, point is not that. The point is the question that I asked, that every time a personal attack has been made against Mr. Modi, the Congress has gone on to lose their election.
It's a lose. It's RIP. Rest in peace.
That is the larger question I'm asking.
Please don't speak in between. Let me complete. Zaka, again, I am telling you, in Karnataka, same kind of things were raised by Mr. Modi. Ki mujhe ye bola, mujhe wo bola. Why? What happened in Karnataka? Even in Himachal, he raised the same issue. See, people now understand.
He is repeating it. Answer the question, Rogan.
So one second. Yeah. Let him finish. I'll come back to you. Let him finish.
The Congress has no answer.
Yeah. Let him finish.
Is not
Let him finish, sir. Let him finish. Yeah.
Don't show your hatred. I can understand why you are here, but don't show your hatred. Zaka, question is very simple. Whenever this kind of issues are raised, if the party or leader who is raising issue is completely morally clean, he has not spoken about any of the opposition leader at any point of time, I completely agree that people will have that kind of feeling. But people also understand when Mr. Modi says something, it is not an insult. When Mr. Rahul Gandhi says something, it is not.
Okay.
There cannot be double standards.
Shehzad, the defense that you took, that the PM did not take Rahul Gandhi's name, Rohan is saying that that's absolutely not holding water, because the PM said that Congress leader who said that India is behind China when it comes to making manufacturing mobile phones, and everybody knows Rahul Gandhi said that. Also, he's making the point that even this clip of Rahul Gandhi where he is sort of being prompted by the crowd and he says, Panauti pahunch gaya, hamare ladke achhe khel rahe the aur wo haar gaye. In that entire clip, he's not taking Mr. Modi's name. So this is the defense from the Congress party. Please respond to that, Shehzad.
Zaka, on the second point, you are factually not correct. He said PM means Panauti Modi. I am happy to wait for you for 5 minutes to play that video clip out.
We can play that bite out. We can play that bite out.
Yeah, please play it out.
I'm asking my producers to play it out. You finish your point. Yeah.
Now, secondly, Zaka, now if he has inferred Murko ke Sardar as Rahul Gandhi, again, that's their issue. Let me come to another point and a larger point, Zaka. The larger point I'm saying is that BJP, Congress, all kinds of leaders have made statements against each other or abusive language against each other. I don't condone one for the other. I am making another point. If we go into who started it, here is a report of how Congress called Vajpayee ji a traitor. There is Lalu calling Vajpayee ji Gadar. That's not the point I'm making today. The point I'm making today is that this word Panauti, these people claim that we are regressive. They are people of scientific temper and very progressive. Can they say then that 10 matches India won was because of a good omen? And the 11th match was lost not because of the capabilities of the Indian team, but because of a bad omen. They are disrespecting the players. You abuse Modi. You anyways abuse Modi. You call him Hitler. You call him Teri Kabr Khudegi. You abuse his parents. You abuse his caste. You abuse his chaiwala status. Abuse na baba. You are abusing every day. Who stopped you? But why are you undermining sometimes our cricketers, sometimes using a word which is used against the lower caste wrongly? It was used to exclude them. It was a term of apartheid. Why are you using terminology? Khadgeji said, Ghanchi and Teli is not OBC. He said that. Look at their common sense. Why are you saying that the Samaj is not OBC just because you want to have a problem with Modi?
Okay.
Janta is Rakshas.
So let me. In fact, Rahul Gandhi, when he said "Sare Modi chor hai," it went. The whole thing went up to a court. A court convicted him. He was disqualified for a period of time. But let me play out that bite since Shehzad asked for it. Shehzad, this is the bite that we have, which went viral a couple of days ago, where Mr. Rahul Gandhi used the word Panauti. Let's listen in. Let's see what the bite says.
याद है? हाँ क्या? पनौती 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 वो अच्छा भला वहाँ पे अच्छा भला हमारे लड़के वहाँ पे वर्ल्ड कप जीत जाते, वो वहाँ पे पनौती हरवा दिया। टीवी वाले ये नहीं कहेंगे, मगर जनता जानती है.
So this is the bite, Shehzad, since you asked for it.
One second, Rahul. Zaka, 1 second. There are umpteenth number of tweets where they have said Panauti Modi, and you are playing a wrong bite. It's not my fault. He has said Panauti Modi. I'll pull out the bite.
Sure, fair enough. I mean, if you have the bite, like I said before the end of the debate, I'm happy to
I'll pull out the bite.
Play that bite out. But Tausif, the point is not whether there was direct reference or not direct reference, because everybody knows Mr. Modi referred to Rahul Gandhi, even if he didn't take his name in Murkhon Ko Sardar, and Mr. Gandhi referred to Mr. Modi when he said Panauti, because even if he didn't take his name. But the point is not that. The point is that these are not the issues that matter in election campaigns. These are not issues that matter to the people of Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh. The leaders, and especially leaders in high places, the Prime Minister, somebody who's leading the principal opposition party, should be talking about things that matter to people, not about personal jibes against each other, because that's not what people are going to vote on. These are not material issues. Our election campaign should be about material issues.
Absolutely, I agree with you, and this is what Mamata Banerjee has been pointing out. She has given several statements on this. She said, firstly, the BJP has tried to hijack the cricket match by introducing the saffronization, by introducing the saffron color in the jersey, and even in the main jersey by introducing the the word India in the saffron in the middle of the entire blue jersey. Secondly, she said that the Calcutta and Bombay has been like the hot favorite for final match venue. Why? Because Calcutta is one place where India has performed very well against Australia, and in Bombay was a hot favorite because there are 3 players from the team who knew the Bombay pitch very well, and they have performed. We have seen how they performed in semi-final.
Again, these are completely irrational claims. No, 1 second, Tausif, 10 seconds. No, 1 second. These are completely illogical sentences. I mean, I know all of us follow cricket. India lost the famous semi-final of the World Cup 1996 at Eden Gardens. So, I mean, come on, let's have logic here, right? And the logic is that we had a bad day. It was a great team, had a great tournament up until the final. We had a bad day. We lost to a better team on that day. Let's accept that. To say that had we played in Eden Gardens or had we played in Wankhede, I know umpteen matches we've lost in Eden Gardens. I just listed out one.
This is not a statement from out of the blue. This has been discussed with the team. There are statements from the team.
No one from the team has said, no one from the team has said, had we played in another venue, we would have won. Please. No, Tausif, again, you are reiterating the point that I made, that discourse should be driven by some kind of logic. Discourse should be about material things that matter to the people. To say that Paapiyon ne jaake match dekha isliye humne haare, I mean, come on.
Mamata Banerjee talked about karma. We all agree with the karma.
What is karma got to do? What is karma got to do with? What is karma got to do with having lost the final? For the 10 matches that we won, where was karma? What was karma about it?
Because the sinner was not there. That is precisely the point of Mamata Banerjee.
Mr. Rajagopalan, come on. This is getting to the point of being almost silly. But like I said, I firmly believe that people in high places, whether it's chief ministers like Mamata Banerjee, the Prime Minister, somebody who's leading a principal opposition party, should be rising above all of this Panauti versus Paapi versus Chowkidar. This is not what people are looking at. This is not what people are looking up to these leaders for. Mr. Rajagopalan.
Jaka, one thing, Panauti, when cricket they lost Panauti, why should Congress organize a big screen at 24 Akbar Road AICC? Because of that they lost. I can claim that also. Apart from that, Jaka, during Corona, same Congress and the Trinamool Congress and other opposition parties, they heckled Narendra Modi for that, inoculation, like, COVID, like that.
Yeah.
Second thing, they heckled him. And second thing, demonetization. Okay, itna mar gaya, sara. Yeah, whatever Mr. Modi does, opposition has no other charm except creating Panautis. When 250 crore inoculations have been done 3 times, where did that Panauti go? Who won that? We won the corona, and it's a 1 century. Every century, one major epidemic hits India. So we have won that. They should give credit. Now, Uttarakhand, what is happening? Tomorrow morning, that 41 workers will be brought alive. It is Panauti, according to Rahul Gandhi. So, Mr. Rahul Gandhi lost the plot. He apologized before the Supreme Court. Therefore, my understanding is 2024, the Congress should use better words than Panauti, especially
so Shehzad is putting up his hand. Yeah, Shehzad.
I'm sorry, I had to spend the better time of this debate to pull out something that your research team could have, but I'm making you hear the video. Please hear.
PM matlab Panauti Modi.
Did you hear that?
Okay.
Should I play it again?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Play it again. Shehzad, play it again.
I'm playing it on Twitter, so it buffers, and I'm using the same connection for my Skype. 1 second now, Zaka, let me make
This is an
Rohan, wait. Let him make his point. 1 second. Let him make his point, and then after that, I'll come to you, Rohan. Yeah, let Shehzad make his point. Yeah, Shehzad.
Zaka, look, Rohan is making three arguments. One argument he made was that it was not directly said to him. It's been busted. It was directly said to Modi. By the way, Modi did not say Murkho ke Sardar directly to Rahul. Anyways, let's leave that.
Okay.
Secondly, Rohan is saying action ka reaction to hoga. You tell something to Rahul, we'll tell you something. This is the party which says that ek aak ke badle dusre aak nahi leni chahiye. We are the followers of Gandhi, but today they're saying action ka reaction. And if action ka reaction is the point, then Vajpayee was called a traitor, which I've proven also. Now, point number 3, Zaka, is forget what we say to each other in politics. We should not say. But I'm saying while attacking Modi, why do they attack India, India's institutions, India's people, India's Samaj? Why did Mr. Khadge say Teli is not OBC? Why did Mr. Randeep Surjewala say Janta Rakshas hai? Why is it that they have challenged the skill of our players by saying a bad omen is the reason that they lost? Well, they won not because of a good omen. What is this unscientific temperament? No longer can the Congress say that they are a scientifically inclined party. They are a party of bigots.
Rohan, respond, and then I'll get closing comments from both Tausif and Mr. Rajgopalan. Yeah.
See, this is always been the strategy of BJP to hide behind people making a big emotional issue. It's not about people. It's about when you are in public, when you are raising issues like Murkho ka Sardar, and when Congress says something, we never made issue out of that. We never told that, okay, he told that, we took it sportingly, that's fine. But when you come out and make sure, oh, Mr. Modi ko ye bol diya, then there is a problem. This is the problem. You are talking about Teli and Gachi, then why your party is against caste census then? Why you are against that? You don't want to give them right. You are talking here all these things, but when it comes to OBC, you play your own politics. So don't play politics here. Don't try to generalize. Don't use people to take your political. You have lost all these 5 elections. Badly, emotional kitna bhi kar lo, kuch hone wala nahi hai. Janata ne निर्णय बना दिया है. Mr. Modi क्या हो?
I got to wrap up in the next 1 minute. So Tausif, but quickly, Shehzad, quick 10-second rebuttal. 10 seconds.
Rohan, I know you have so much love for the OBC community that you never made an OBC Prime Minister. Leave that aside. Khadge ji said, Zaka, now please don't interrupt. Rohan, don't have this bad habit of interrupting, Baba. Zaka, Khadge said, Modi Ghanchi Teli hai, Ghanchi Teli OBC nahi hote. Does Rohan Gupta stand by that statement? Yes or no?
Okay.
अरे यार क्या बात मजाक कर रहे हैं क्या हम यहाँ पे? Are you an anchor here to question me?
No.
I'm asking a question.
I got to wrap up. Tausif, final word. The point. I keep coming back to this. No. Yeah, I'll come to you, Mr. Rajgopalan. The point is, there is almost a direct correlation. Look, I'm not saying that only one party is guilty of using personal attacks, but there is almost a direct correlation every time there is a personal attack against a leader. And again, the 2021 elections, I referred to this at the top of the show. When Mr. Modi called Mamata Banerjee Didi or Didi, many felt at that time that was a turning point. And look at the results of the 2021 assembly elections, right? So the point is, whenever there is a personal attack, people are smart. People of this country are smart. In the states, they are smart. In general elections, they are smart. They know, what is respect and how it is earned. And when somebody is referred to in a pejorative term, that is being paid back in the same coin. People are seeing all of this. So, like I said, in the case of Mr. Modi, when he was referred to as Chaiwala, the opposition lost. When they said Neech Kisam Ki Aadmi, they lost the Gujarat election. Now, this is the latest one, Panauti. And you tell me, from whatever I'm seeing in Rajasthan, the wind seems to be going in one direction. So, point is, Is the personal attack simply a cover, a cover for the fact that one side knows which direction it's going?
No, you are right that people understand, people get it whenever these kind of personal attack is made, who is it referred to. But then people also understand and people get it why this political interference in a cricket match, which is so close to the heart of the Indians, 1.4, 1 crore 40, 140 crore Indians, which is
you are saying he should not have gone. He should not have gone to the match.
No, I am saying.
Is that what you're saying?
Had Jai Shah not been at the helms of the affairs of the BCCI, then the venue would have been a different stadium, a stadium with the name of the Modi, a stadium in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad.
No. Let's say for argument's sake. Let's say for argument's sake. One second. Tausif. Let's say for argument's sake, it did not happen at the Narendra Modi Stadium. It did not happen in Ahmedabad. It happened in Eden Gardens. It was still the final. India won all 10 games. You think Mr. Modi still should not have gone or would not have gone?
No, then perhaps Mr. Modi would not have been called Panauti, because the name of the stadium would have been either Wankhede Stadium or Eden Garden Stadium.
So now you have a convenient. No. One second. First you started by saying Paapi log gaye isliye hum haare, Panauti gaye isliye hum haare. Now you're saying it's because of the name of now you're saying that it's because of the name of the stadium. By the way, in that same stadium, India defeated Pakistan by a huge margin. Nobody said Panauti then.
Vallabhbhai Patel complex.
Anyway,
it's Vallabhai Patel complex.
Mr. Rajgopalan, final word. 30 seconds. I got to wrap up, sir. Yeah, 30 seconds, please.
If Congress to win 2024 with landslide victory, the speech writers of Mr. Rahul Gandhi should not have used this type of words. Be careful, because public reaction is first. I have covered Congress from 1977 onwards, Jaka. When P.V. Narasimha Rao was spokesperson, no one would have known. Mr. Rogan Gupta let him know that Congress has gone into a very, very, very existential crisis because of the speech writers.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our guests. Let's see whether this has any bearing at all and what kind of impact this will have on the Rajasthan campaign this last week, and all of this references these personal attacks that both sides have been trading at each other. I'm going to take a quick break. Up next, an exclusive chat on this 4-day ceasefire agreement in lieu of the release of 50 Israeli hostages. There's been a 24-hour delay that has cropped up. I spoke with a top Israel government spokesperson, Eylon Levy. After the break, we will get you that, as well as a deep dive of the victory of Geert Wilders in the Netherlands. This is one more country that has tilted right in elections that have happened in recent times. Is Europe making a far-right tilt, whether it is in France or in Germany or in Italy, or now the latest being the Netherlands? Quick break, that coming up right on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
So it's going to be close to 50 days since the war between Israel and Hamas began. This week, there was the announcement of a ceasefire for 4 days in exchange for 50 hostages due to be released. That agreement was due to take effect starting this morning, Thursday morning, but now there's been a delay of 24 hours. Let's find out about this particular agreement and where this war is headed. Eylon Levy is the Israel government spokesperson. He's the spokesperson for the current wartime cabinet headed by Prime Minister Netanyahu. Thank you very much, Mr. Levy, for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. This ceasefire deal for 4 days in exchange for 50 Israeli hostages, many of them women and children, to be released, it was supposed to have come into effect starting today, Thursday morning, but it's been delayed by a day. It's been delayed, pushed back by another 24 hours. Do you know what is the exact reason and what is causing this delay?
It's been nearly 50 days now that Hamas has been holding 240 innocent people hostage. Hamas can release them any moment it wants. It could have released them yesterday, the day before. It could have released them on October 7th or never taken them hostage. And every additional moment, every additional minute that Hamas doesn't let those poor, vulnerable children go is another moment that it continues to psychologically terrorize those children's families who know nothing about the condition of the hostages. They don't know what physical condition they're in. They don't know about their emotional or psychological condition. And it's another moment they terrorize the people they are holding hostage. They don't know what has happened to their families, the families who were massacred on October 7th. And we're going to continue putting military pressure on Hamas to release all of our hostages, because that is the only thing that the evil terrorists who perpetrated the October 7th massacre will respond to.
Mr. Levy, how worried are you that this period of 4 days, this pause of 4 days, could be potentially used by Hamas to try and extract more, whether it is from Israel or the team of negotiators that it is dealing with, that it's negotiating with, that they're going to use this as some kind of a bargaining chip to extract more, possibly even position themselves in a better position than they have been in these last close to 50 days. How worried are you about that?
We would prefer to continue putting unrelenting military pressure on Hamas to destroy that terror organization. But we have two goals in this war: to destroy Hamas so it can never do another October 7th massacre, and to bring back our hostages. And our assessment is that a very brief pause in order to get as many hostages out as possible is a price that we are willing to pay. And I'll add, a brief pause will also allow the IDF to prepare for the days ahead. They've been involved in some intense fighting, and if Hamas respects that brief pause, our troops will also be in a better position to continue the fight against Hamas and to continue the fight against the terror group that perpetrated that inhumane massacre on October 7th.
Now, over the last couple of weeks or so, much of the focus of this war, both on the battleground and, of course, on the airwaves, has been on the Al-Shifa hospital. Hamas claims it's the biggest hospital in Gaza. Israel claims that underneath the hospital is the headquarters of Hamas. There is at least that's the allegation from Israel, a wide tunnel network, arms and weaponry that's been stored there. And now the IDF has put out a video after they managed to capture the Al-Shifa, which shows the tunnel. But there are people who are still saying that what Israel was accusing Hamas of doing under the premises, under the compound of Al-Shifa, has still not added up. What would you like to say to those people?
We think that the UN agencies that have not condemned Hamas's atrocities on October 7th, that have not demanded a return of the hostages, that have said nothing about the Israeli women and girls who were raped on October 7th, they should all be ashamed. We think that the UN agencies in the Gaza Strip that knew that Hamas was using the Shifa hospital as a terror headquarters, that knew that it had tunnels under the hospital and said nothing, should be ashamed. We're demanding global accountability from these institutions. We think they look very silly now. We're asking, what did you know? Why did you not say anything? And now that the evidence is out in the air of how you were complicit with Hamas's illegal abuse of hospitals as human shields, what do you plan to do to make sure that a Hamas's abuse of humanitarian law never happen again? We hold Hamas completely responsible for all the suffering in the Gaza Strip, which is really heartbreaking, as a result of its decision to declare war on us with the October 7th massacre. And we hold the UN agencies that have been covering up for it completely complicit with Hamas's crimes against humanity.
Now, again, through the last couple of weeks, it's not just the Israeli children that the world has been completely appalled by. The pictures of these little toddlers who've been affected, whether it's the ones who've been taken hostage or the ones whose family members have been taken hostage. But the world community has also been waking up to images of little kids in Gaza who've been killed because of airstrikes and ground operations. What would you say to those who say that Israel and Hamas are not quite comparable, because Israel, as a responsible member of the Committee of Nations, has to live up to an entirely different standard, will be held to a higher standard than a terrorist organization like Hamas? What would you say to that argument?
And that's really amazing. Think about how many international media outlets, how many international officials were so invested in denying that Hamas had a terror infrastructure underneath the hospital. Israel told the whole world, they made it out as if we were liars, and now the evidence is there for everyone to see. And they look very, very silly. Hamas had a vast terror complex underneath that hospital. The evidence is there for everyone to see. We've started taking reporters in. I hope international reporters can go in too. And we demand accountability from those institutions, and we will continue to expose the evidence of Hamas's abuse of those hospitals. We're talking about a very large complex. I think some people thought Israel was going to pull back a curtain on day one and say tada. It takes time. These areas are booby-trapped. It's dangerous. But we will expose the whole Shifa terror complex under that hospital, and we will demand answers from the UN officials who have been covering up for Hamas.
Now, last night I got the chance to speak to some of the families of the hostages, and the sentiment amongst them seems to be that they want the Israel government to act and act now. They're saying it's been close to 50 days, and that is far too long for them to live in this kind of, limbo, really, not knowing what is the state of their relatives who've been kidnapped, who've been held as hostage. There is a great deal of apprehension amongst those families. They want your government, the government under Prime Minister Netanyahu, to take this deal and to execute this deal as quickly as possible. And now there's a delay of 24 hours. What would you say to those families at this time?
Hamas has been torturing the families of these poor hostages by holding these hostages without access to the Red Cross, without any communication with the outside world, deliberately, psychologically torturing these people. In Israel, the hostage crisis is an intensely personal issue. There are 240 hostages. We're a small country of only 10 million people. Everyone in Israel knows someone who had someone stolen from them. I found out only this morning that a friend of mine had his brother-in-law stolen on October 7th. We know these children's faces. We know their names. They are household names and household faces. And if you wake us up in the middle of the night because no one here has been sleeping for the last 50 days, we can tell you their stories. This is intensely personal for us. We're doing everything we can to bring them all home, and we're committed to that. The men and the women, the children and the elderly, the civilians and the soldiers, and we're committed to that pledge. There will be no one left behind.
And so what happens finally after this 4-day pause, and presumably it'll start from Friday, but after next Tuesday, what happens? The Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has said that the war will continue with a greater intensity after this 4-day period. Just paint the picture for us. What does next week and the week after that and the next month look like? How and when, and this is the question that everyone around the world is asking, how and when does this end?
After the initial 4-day pause, Hamas will face a choice. For every additional day of pause that it wants, it can release 10 hostages. And we will, of course, want to receive additional hostages and give them that pause. But after we are done, we will continue putting pressure on Hamas. And this war will end with the end of Hamas. Because on October 7th, Hamas burned, beheaded, and abducted people. And then when it went into the Gaza Strip, it told us that it wants to do it all over again. And we will end this war by ending Hamas, or else it will do it again and it will be emboldened. This war will end with no more Hamas. We're fighting for humanity. We're fighting for the right of little Israeli girls not to be raped by masked terrorists with Kalashnikov rifles. And if anyone thinks we're going to stop fighting for that right, if anyone thinks we're going to stop before we are assured of our people's safety, then they don't understand how much we care for our people. They don't understand how much we care for our children and what we will do for them.
All right, Mr. Eylon Levy, Israeli government spokesperson, many thanks for joining us here on CNN News 18.
Thank you.
Controversial Dutch politician Geert Wilders has won a massive victory in the recent elections in the Netherlands. It puts his party and himself in a position to form the next ruling party and potentially become the next Prime Minister of the Netherlands. Wilders has often been called the Dutch Donald Trump for his brand of populist politics. But unlike the former US president, he seemed destined to a lifetime in the opposition. An exit poll revealing the landslide victory appeared to take Wilders by surprise. In his first reaction posted in a video on the social media platform X, he spread his arms wide, put his face in his hands, and simply said 35. That's the number of seats that an exit poll had forecast for his Party for Freedom, or the PVV. That's the number it could eventually win in the 150-seat lower house of parliament.
I'm in politics for 25 years now, and this is the happiest day of my life so far in politics. We became the number one party by far. I mean, it's what a lot of people, if you would have asked them a year ago, would call you mad, and it happened today. So I'm very proud I'm very happy, and it brings along a lot of feeling of responsibility.
This is the first time a coalition of right-wing parties could potentially form a government in Amsterdam. The only time Geert Wilders came close to governing was when he supported the first coalition government formed by the outgoing Prime Minister Mark Rutte in the year 2010. But Wilders did not formally join that minority government. It was a left-of-centre government, and oftentimes Wilders' politics did not sit well with the government of the day. Wilders brought down Rutte's government just after 18 months in office. There was a dispute between both gentlemen over austerity measures which the Netherlands was going through at that point of time. Since then, mainstream political parties in the Netherlands have shunned Geert Wilders. He was the guy who was good for television soundbites and social media viral posts, but someone that mainstream politicians did not take seriously because of his extremely radical views. Wilders' party, the PVV, is now in a fantastic position to emerge as the single largest in a fractured mandate. They could win potentially up to 35 seats. They could either be the leading party in the next ruling coalition, or at least a party that can no longer be ignored by any other party that intends to form the next government. Wilders, in fact, waved and spoke to cheering supporters at his election headquarters celebration. It happened in a small bar in a suburb at The Hague. Wilders' incendiary rhetoric against Islam has made him a target for extremists. It has led him to living round-the-clock protection for a number of years now. He's also appeared in court as a victim of death threats, vowing never to be silenced. He has moved from one safe house to another over the last 20 years. In fact, in 2009, the British government had refused to let him visit that country, saying that he posed a threat to communal harmony and therefore to public security. To quote mainstream voters this time around, Wilders toned down his rhetoric and sought to focus less on what he calls the de-Islamization of the Netherlands. Instead, he focused more on tackling practical issues like housing shortages, a cost of living crisis, and of course access to good health care. His campaign platform, nonetheless, calls for a referendum in the Netherlands. The question that will be asked before the Dutch people is whether they want to stay or leave the European Union. He also wants a complete stop to all asylum seekers in the Netherlands and no Islamic schools, Qurans or mosques. But soon after his victory, when he spoke to his supporters, he pledged not to breach any existing laws in the Netherlands or to breach the country's constitution. Remember, in the Netherlands, there is freedom of religion and expression which is enshrined in the Dutch constitution.
I'm very proud, but at the same time, it comes with a lot of responsibility. People expect our agenda of hope, tougher asylum and immigration policy, the people getting more money to pay for their utilities and groceries.
Wilders has previously ranted against Islam. He's also hit out against asylum seekers who come in boats from the Middle East as well as from North Africa. He has also said very disparaging things about Prophet Muhammad, the founder of the Islamic religion. He has also backed an Indian politician last year who had called the Prophet a pedophile. But Wilders' rise is not alone. It mirrors something that's been going on in Europe since the Brexit referendum in 2016 in Britain. That was the first time in continental Europe where an anti-immigrant and an anti-Europe, and most importantly, an anti-multicultural sentiment came to the mainstream. It led to the election of the very populist London mayor at that time, who went on to become Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. In fact, the current Conservative government under Rishi Sunak has been battling its biggest crisis since it came to existence over a year ago, post the exit of the former Home Secretary Suella Braverman. Braverman had made it her single-point agenda to stop the boats. In fact, she had to exit her job after a controversial plan to send back migrants to Rwanda, which ran afoul of the courts in Britain. The Supreme Court of Britain just this past week struck that controversial plan down, saying it is illegal and unconstitutional. Not just in Britain, across the Channel, In France, Marine Le Pen has emerged as a formidable contender for the presidency. She has positioned herself as a challenger not just to the incumbent president but also to the existing political order. In the last two elections, she finished as runner-up, forcing the establishment candidate, the current incumbent, Emmanuel Macron, into runoffs on both occasions. Her rise reflects a growing sentiment of discontent in France with mainstream politics and with mainstream politicians. She, just like Wilders, is capitalizing on an anti-immigrant, anti-Islamic platform. The French political arena is witnessing a departure from what was traditionally centrist ideologues, now with Le Pen's National Front gaining traction in both local elections as well as nationwide elections. There is a large set of voters who are disillusioned with the status quo who are now gravitating towards this far-right option. Similarly, in Italy, Giorgia Meloni now heads one of the most right-wing governments in the history of that nation. The shift to the right reflects a broader trend of Euroscepticism and a rejection of liberal values that have defined Europe for the last many decades.
Presented by
on the other end of the tunnel or the leveling of surface that was happening on the vertical end of the tunnel, all that was stopped, and the work was ongoing from the Silkyara end of the tunnel, where it was being tried that people who are stuck inside, they could be taken out without any harm. So that is the biggest challenge at this point in time. These 4 to 5 metal sheets that has been encountered, this is proving to be an Herculean task for the rescuers who have been working round the clock 24/7 for the last 12 days, making sure that the mental health condition or the other conditions, physical health condition of the people remain intact. So yes, we are expecting that within the next few hours, this entire operation might come to an end as well. But yes, the next few sheets that are over here, these needs to be encountered at the earliest.
All right, Anshul, please stay with us. Now, we'll just quickly walk you through the rescue plan that is underway in Uttarakhand to rescue the 41 stranded workers. Now, the workers are trapped at 260 meters inside the tunnel, and in the tunnel, the debris is up to 60 meters. So, the workers are at 260 meters inside the tunnel, and the debris is up to 60 meters. Whereas, if we talk about the buffer room that the workers have, that is almost 2 kilometers, and the horizontal drilling that is happening in Uttarakhand by the rescue teams, that is happening up to 40 meters. So these are the latest details as far as the rescue operations that are underway in Uttarakhand are concerned. And we have Anshul Singh with us from the ground. Anshul, also has any communication been established with the workers recently?
So yes, communication has been established. We have been reporting on this for the last 2 days, and how communication has already been established, be it the video or the audio communication that has already been established. In fact, the doctors have also spoken to each and every person who is stuck inside, making sure that their mental and physical health remains intact, and that is a good thing that all of them are absolutely safe. Even if people had complained of anything, they have been given the requisite medicines as well. So yes, the situation inside the tunnel is absolutely safe. The people inside the tunnel are absolutely safe. There is constant communication that is happening. In fact, the communication has been happening from day one itself. We have been reporting from over here from the last 11 days that how communication channels have already been established. So yes, the only thing that is now left, we are in the last leg of this rescue operation, and we are expecting that within the next few hours we can get that breakthrough that we have been waiting to see for the last 11 days now.
And now we get you the latest update from Uttarakhand, where the rescue operation is on. Now what we're learning is that 45 meter has been drilled through and 15 meter remains to be drilled to rescue the workers who are stranded inside the tunnel. Remember, 41 workers have been stranded since November 12th. and the rescue operation is on. The operation is in the final stage, and what we are learning is that 45 meter of the tunnel has been drilled through and 15 meter remains to be drilled. So in total 60 meter needed to be drilled, out of which 45 meter has already been drilled through and 15 meters still remains to be drilled to rescue the 41 stranded workers. We have CNN News 18's Anshul Singh joining us from the ground, getting us all the latest details. Anshul, what is the current situation, and how much more time can we expect it to take for the workers to be out of the tunnel?
Well, that is a $1 million question. That is the question that everyone is asking. How much more time will it take for the people to finally come out of the tunnel in which they have been trapped for the last 12 days now? Now remember, after the 45-meter mark was breached by the rescuers, there was a surprise press conference that happened in which the rescuers were very, very confident that they will be able to get through towards the other side of the debris and make sure that all these people are taken out in the next 15 hours. That is, it was expected that by midnight, each and every person would be taken out safely. But yes, the last hurdle, in the last step, the last hurdle has come up. It seems there are at least 4 to 5 metal pieces that have now been encountered by the rescuers in the tunneling operation. And remember, these are 800mm pipes through which this entire operation is now being carried out. NDRF team has been sent inside the 800mm pipe with hydraulic cutters, and through those hydraulic cutters, the metal is being tried to cut, and there has been very little to no success that the rescuers have been able to find in that, and that is the reason why we are seeing that the drilling process has stopped at almost 45 meters. What the rescuers expect that within the once the metal is cut through, then they will be able to drill in at least 2 pipes, which means that from anywhere from 10 to 12 meters is left for them to breach that entire debris. So yes, the next few hours are going to be interesting. But yes, the NDRF team since late last evening have been trying to cut through that steel pipes and steel rods that they have encountered. But yes, that is proving to be a big task, because you can imagine that it is just an 800mm diameter pipe, and if you convert it to feet, it's just 2.7 feet in diameter, and
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post, and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. The lead story tonight is unsettling. We thought we'd left this behind us, but here's what we have. A new mysterious outbreak in China. Hundreds of children are in hospital. People asking authorities if there's a cover-up. Beijing not spelling out what the disease is, and the WHO asking for information and lab reports. Sounds like a scary case of deja vu. We hope it doesn't snowball. We'll tell you what's going on in China. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin has said, we must think about stopping the Ukraine war. Is this a note to self, a climb down, or a bluff? We'll discuss that. More drama in the Sam Altman story. What is Project Q Star? Is it dangerous AI? Is this why he was sacked? In America, a former presidential advisor and big shot in the State Department has been arrested for Islamophobia. Will they add it in their religious freedom reports? Why did the Mossad chief go to Qatar? Who is the winner of the Dutch election, and what does his victory mean for Europe? Is Russia weaponizing the border with Finland, and what is volcano tourism? All these stories and more coming up. The headlines first. In India, the Uttarakhand tunnel rescue operation is in its final stage. The 41 trapped workers are expected to be pulled out soon. They have been trapped in this under-construction tunnel since the 12th of November. Iran's foreign minister meets the Hezbollah chief in Lebanon. Since the start of the Gaza war, Hezbollah has traded heavy cross-border fire with Israel. The violence has killed more than 100 people in Lebanon, mostly from the Hezbollah. In Pakistan, Imran Khan's party ordered to hold leadership polls within 20 days. The Election Commission says it must do so to retain its election symbol, a cricket bat. Pakistan is set to hold general elections next year. Imran Khan is currently in jail, facing a slew of legal cases. Niger's military ruler visits Mali. This is his first foreign trip since seizing power in July. Their neighbours Mali and Burkina Faso are also ruled by the military. Both countries have pledged their support to Niger's coup leaders. And Paris says, get set, stop. The transport system in Paris will not be ready for the 2024 Olympic Games. That's the warning from the mayor of the French capital. The 2024 Olympic Games in Paris will be held in July and August. It's happening again. China's hospitals are filling up with patients. Almost all of them are children. Their symptoms are strikingly similar to the Wuhan virus: high fever and lung infection. There are many clusters of patients. Doctors say they have pneumonia, but they don't know what's causing the infection. They have failed to figure out the root cause. Is this a new variant of the Wuhan virus? Is it a bacterium or a new disease altogether? As always, China is not being transparent. And I know what you're thinking. This is a repeat of 2019. It sounds like one, when mysterious disease was ripping through China. First, Beijing played down the outbreak. Then they concealed the truth. And the result was a global pandemic, the worst of our times. 4 years later, we have a new outbreak in China, one that Beijing cannot explain. So what really is happening? There is limited information as of now. We don't know exactly when the outbreak began or how many patients are in hospital. But we can tell you that the hotspot is northern China. The surge seems recent. Also,